Alright, so hey there everyone, Christian here. I got a 1986, I don't remember the body's different than the year, 6.9 IDI that I have AC Delco 60G glow plugs in there that are 12 volt. They're from the 6.5, 6.2 liter Chevys. They are on a manual glow plug switch, and I recently addressed a lot of my air intrusion issues on my fuel system, and the truck starts really good now. So I decided that I would take a remote start that I had laying around for a couple of years now and get that installed. My problem being that my glow plug controller no longer works, and so being that I had the 12 volt glow plugs, it wouldn't have functioned with it anyways. So I had to develop my own glow plug controller, and so that it would work with the remote start. So I thought I'd show that to you guys today in case any of you are in this situation. Maybe it'd help you out a little bit. So I will get on to that now. Okay, so this is the glow plug controller that I built. Being the redneck that I am, I have a number of chew tins laying around. I thought it had some class as a little project holder there. So that's what I built it in. Let me open this up here for you real quick. Okay, so this is the inside of the glow plug controller that I built. It operates off of a 555 integrated circuit chip. They're fairly inexpensive. They're simple in design. You can pick them up at your Radio Shack or a number of places. This is called a single shot 555 timer. There's a number of different styles you can use the chip in, different ways, but it's fairly simple. It requires a capacitor right here, and some resistors, a couple smaller capacitors right there and right there, and pretty much the way this circuit is designed is that when the remote start is pressed, there's a second output out of the remote start that can power an ignition or an accessory device. Now you want to leave it set as ignition because if you were to set it as accessory, it will shut off when the engine cranks, and then when it turns back on, it'll re-trigger the glow plug controller. This circuit's designed so that as it gets power, it triggers for a set amount of time that is based off of the values for this capacitor, as well as the resistor that you choose with it, and it will only trigger that one time no matter how long power is sent to it. So I can get you a schematic for it. I found that with my truck, approximately, I usually count to about 45 when I hold the glow plugs, which worked out to be about 30 seconds. Now with just the parts I had laying around, resistors and that, I got about 25 or 28 seconds roughly. It's all the timing is done based on your values for the capacitor and resistor. So I figured it'll be close enough. The other thing with this is that the output of that chip is only 200 milliamps max. The glow plug relay in your truck pulls about 3.5, is what I measured on mine. So there's going to need to be an external relay. I also, after a little experimentation, found that what I should have included on mine, and you'll see it's underneath this black tape here, is a diode, a switching diode to block any feedback back into the circuit, because I ended up cooking a couple of those chips when I was messing around. I also added, and you don't have to do this, but it makes it easier, is just a LED right here, so that I'm able to tell if it's functioning or not without having to get out a multimeter. And that's just in parallel with the glow plug outlets. The power to the controller is this red wire here. This would go to your the output from your remote start. the ground as a black wire, and then this white wire will go to the relay that is going to be used. The thing you don't want to do is you can't tie it back in to the switch itself and try and pump it out that way. That's why you have to use the relay. But this way, by using the relay, you can still manually cycle your glow plug. Say it's balls cold outside, and the timer here just it wasn't built to power the glow plugs long enough that maybe you have to go out there and cycle them yourself, or you're not using your remote start, and you're not going to trigger your remote start when you're sitting in the truck just to cycle your glow plugs. So you still have that manual control of it, can cycle them for as long as you need without affecting the controller here. So anyhow, without further ado, I'll hook her up here real quick to show you what she does. Okay, so right here you'll see I have a booster pack hooked up just because it's easier for 12 volts. Got the ground off the booster pack connected to the ground for the glow plug controller, and then we have our positive here. This will simulate basically what's going to be coming out of your remote start when it is powered on. Again, you want to program the remote start so that the second ignition accessory, the wire is used for ignition, not accessory, so that it only cycles the glow plug once instead of cycling them a second time after you fire the engine up. If the truck doesn't start on the first crank, most of these will shut off, cut power to everything, and then attempt to cycle through again. You can program a wait to start time into them. I think it's 15, 30, or 45 seconds. This one I'll be using 30 seconds for my wait to start, and so it'll basically put out power to the glow plug controller, and then that I built. And when the 30 seconds is up, then we'll crank. So anyhow, what we do is when you hit your remote start, it will put out power, which will then connect here. Oh shit! There we go. As you can see, the light kicks on. That's showing you that you also have power going out to your white wire, which would run to the relay for the pull-in on the coil portion of the relay. That would also have 12 volts then coming off of an ignition power wire, which would be coming out of the remote start. And as you can see, it clicks off. It will not turn back on. It can sit here for as long as it needs. The engine would crank right now, hopefully fire, and sit there running, never cycling the glow plugs again. I know, normally on a glow plug controller, it measures coolant temperature and cycles them a few times, but I've really never had an issue with that with these 60Gs. They seem to be great glow plugs, and it fires up first time, isn't missing on any cylinders, so it fires up real good. My truck's pretty pissed out too, so like I said, I think they're really good glow plugs. And then been holding it here still, hasn't kicked off or kicked back on. Say the truck didn't start, it would cut all power, it'd cycle through the program again and kick them back on, and on she goes again. So if any of you need longer, shorter times, well, I'll tell you right now, for my time here, I used a 100 microfarad capacitor here and a 220,000 ohm resistor, and then the other resistors it calls for is a 100,000 ohm and 2.01 microfarad capacitors, and then whatever you want to use for your resistor for the LED there. I used, I think, 470, which is a little small. I should have probably had a bigger one, but it's just what I had laying around, so it works. So anyhow, if you have any questions, feel free to post, and I'll do my best to answer them. I'm working on getting a schematic drawn up for any of you guys that need to build one. All I did do afterwards was I filled the bottom of this with a tube of epoxy and sank the the circuit board into it. If you don't want to use a shoe-tin for this project, you could actually build the relay into the project box itself, but I just figured it was easier enough to do it this way, and that's what I had laying around. So, alright, thank you much for watching, and hope this helps. Bye. Alright guys, one thing I forgot that I wanted to show you. I kind of jumped ahead of myself because I didn't think that about possibly some of you not being familiar with circuitry or anything like that. This is called a breadboard. This is what I prototyped the circuit on. All these holes, everything just pushes in, makes connections. You don't have to get one of these. It is helpful in order to make sure everything is working properly. Make sure you got everything tied together right. It's quick and easy to make changes that way. Then you just transfer it in. They sell these. This is another project I had, but this is, I cut the chunk of circuit board off of here, and this is also set up the same as the breadboard that you do your prototyping on. And as you can see, it's you run your power on one side and your ground on the other side, and then you make all your connections using these. These are all tied together in each row, here and here. It can make stuff a little confusing, especially if you're new to it, but it's a hell of a lot easier than having to etch your own boards and whatnot. To make your connections, then they sell, and this was actually another 555 timer circuit project that I had, but they sell these little kits with pre-measured pieces of wire that will connect from the holes, and then you can just solder them in there. So I would recommend picking up something like that. It'll make your life a hell of a lot easier when you do this project. As far as I can think, that's everything that I touched on. When you do build it, put everything together, do all your soldering. Don't solder the chip directly into the board. Use one of these sockets. They have chip sockets here. You'll solder that into the board, and then press your chip into there. And that just saves you if you you screw up and you short out your chip and fry it. You can just slap a new one in there. Anyway, alright, thanks. Thanks again for watching. I just wanted to say sorry for mumbling a lot and all the uhs, and I never recorded a YouTube video before, so it's kind of new to me. Alright, thanks. Bye.